For those of you just checking in, welcome back to Monday Night Movies. We're going to celebrate the good, the bad, the gloriously ridiculous. Tonight, I'm diving headfirst into a film that embraces ridiculous with open, blood-soaked arms. Now, I'm talking about Hard Eyes. Now, Hard Eyes is a horror comedy that knows exactly what it wants to be. It's a fast, absurd, and bloody thrill ride. It's like Scream on a sugar rush with a dash of Final Destination thrown in for good measures. Creative kills, check. Sharp, dark humor, you bet your sweet beating heart. They have it all. So let me break it down. There's the pros. Now, the pros in the film are that this film has kills that would make Final Destination proud. Humor that's witty, juvenile, and surprisingly effective. Absurdity and suspense balanced perfectly. Now, we have Jay Simmons, who's being suspicious as Jay Simmons is played by Mason Gooding. One of my favorite things about these types of movies is when we have these thrillers, these slasher movies with young people running from a killer, is when we get those creative kills. When we have those moments that the movie just isn't taking itself seriously and it just leans into having fun with whatever the subject matter is, whatever's happening on screen, all of that cool stuff. There are some moments where the plot get chaotic. Characters make choices that would make a brain surgeon cry. And it sometimes moves at a breakneck pace, but it still kind of works, right? Like I said, you got Mason Gooding as Jay Simmons. You recognize him from the Scream films. He's a highlight, right? He's basically the ultimate red herring. The movie knows that he's suspicious. We knows that he's suspicious. He probably knows that he's suspicious. And it's hilarious. And of course, we have the obligatory hysterical white woman trope in full effect in this film, because what's a horror movie without someone making a questionable decision that leads to certain doom? Hard Eyes even leans into that trope. Like, it's socially aware of what the movie is, what the expectations are, and who's exactly watching this movie. And I love that because it makes the writing seem extra smart. So long story short, it's a blast. It's self-aware. It's funny. It's gory. It knows exactly what it is. And honestly, sometimes that's really all you need. With the right momentum, this could easily become a franchise. We might have Hard Eyes going for some time. Should you see it? If you like kind of those movies, the Final Destinations, the Scream movies, and you're just at that point where you're desensitized to where you're looking for the humor in it, absolutely, this is the movie for you. Just don't break any glass to get into your building afterwards, because you'll know what I mean when you see the movie. Don't break the glass to get into your building if you leave your keys somewhere. Trust me. Anyway, that's what I have for this movie. I'm really excited for you guys to see it. It comes out on February 7th, which is this Friday. I have my written review up on themovieblog.com. Go ahead, go see it. It's fun. It's cool. It's cool. So that is my thoughts on this film. What are you guys saying about it in the comments? If I did a slasher horror film, I would watch it. Oh, if I did slasher and horror films, I would watch it. If you're desensitized to it and you look for it, the comedy in it, you'll like it. Trust me. It does look entertaining. It is. It's one of those movies, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard for me to watch slasher stuff. Like, I have a phobia with knives. Like, knives freak me out. So when I see them, I'm like, my wife is like almost embarrassed. Like, I'm always jumping and cringing. I'm like I can't stand that stuff, but I watch it for the humor. Like, I power through it. But yeah, let me know what you think. Way too old for it. YouTube is the closest I get. I understand. I respect it. No, someone who's throwing stuff out there because they know it's going to be controversial. Doesn't matter if I agree or not. It's just a waste of energy, since the point is provocation. I don't know what we're talking about, KS. Can't we just ignore people who are being purposely divisive and inflammatory and keep it pushing? Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't think we should. Mainly because if we continue to just ignore things, then things that influence doesn't stop. right? Like, I think it would be ideal if we got to a position where people were more understanding of each other, because then I think that would make us a little bit more tolerable of each other. It's when we ignore people and we just kind of put ourselves in silos and wall ourselves off that I think that um things could get worse, because you don't control the narrative. You don't have any influence on the narrative. They're just forming opinions on their own without your input. um I'm sure a lot of people wish they could ignore America because we're backward. Like, we still use pound. We don't use the metric system. It's weird here. But if people influence us enough, maybe we can do the same thing as the rest of the world and stop being so obtuse. um Let me see. You too, right? I jump at that stuff. The only way to change is through conversation. Thank you. I agree. I'll be back. Mackie Vows. Oh, you'll be back? Where you going? I was gonna wrap up soon. Um, if you constantly live in your own bubble, you have no idea of the world. It's all just a giant echo chamber. Couldn't say it better myself. I appreciate you, Dragnet. But real quick, Heretic, man, I didn't even have my notes prepared for this one, so this is off the dome. I thought I talked about it, but let me. Oh man, I didn't change my banner at all. That's gonna look great. Let me give you a quick little Heretic reaction. So, Heretic. What did I think of Heretic? I thought Hugh Grant was really, really good in that movie. I thought the two girls that were acting in the movie. This is what happens when I don't have my notes. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East. I thought they were really interesting. I thought I thought their performances were a little uneven. But I thought that overall they did really good. And Topher Grace was just a damn chameleon. I didn't even know that was Topher Grace in that film. Make sure I'm doing this properly. Let me just show me. I didn't even know that was Topher Grace in that film. But what really impressed me about the movie was not just the premise, but just how smart the movie was, how aware it was of so many different religions, and tying in the commonalities of them in order to have this premise of this dude who's like wildly diabolical. I like the idea of the Mormon. Were they Mormons? I think they were Mormons, right? They were like door-to-door evangelists, or no, Latter-day Saints, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's what it was. They were members of the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints. They were going door to door, trying to evangelize, trying to recruit people to join their church. And the fact that Hugh Grant's character was the way he was, he's just, ooh. I really enjoyed his performance. I really enjoyed the premise. I really enjoyed the writing and the ideological conversation that they had within it. I think the conversation about the different theologies, the different religions, and the commonalities of them really is what maintained my interest. But then they started to also do really well with the complexity of the writing in Hugh Grant's character. All the little details, all the little subtleties that his character was leaving throughout the movie, as they worked their way into the danger that he was hiding from behind closed doors. I thought all of that was really well done. I think some of the things didn't land as well. I feel like the ending felt a little bit rushed. I felt like they could have gone a little further with it, or the movie could have been a little bit longer, but it also felt like it didn't want to overstay its welcome, and they kind of moved at that pace on purpose in order to reach a conclusion. Overall, I really enjoyed Heretic because it had a great performance from Hugh Grant. It had a really good, smart, witty writing that makes you think about different religions. Like, it brings outside stuff in without making that stuff the main topic. I thought that was really fun. I just felt like the ending was a little bit rushed, and I thought that they could have done a little bit more with the threat that Hugh Grant was hiding behind closed doors. So overall, if I had to give it a score, I would probably give it a solid 8, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. And I'm only taking away points because of the way I felt the ending was a little bit rushed. But yeah, I really thought it was really cool. I really thought it was really, really cool. Let me see. I'm not talking about actual productive conversation, just to BS. Oh yeah, I mean, I love the productive conversation. Productive being the key. It's all BS on social media because that's all we're doing. If I offer you guys to have a real conversation with me, we're not going to do BS. You know, it's really just about the people you're talking to, and if they're willing to adhere to that type of conversation, if they're willing to take constructive criticism, if they're willing to have thicker skin than usual. So just know, when you come here on this channel, it is not going to be just BS. We can actually talk about it. Oh man, I am a big Shawshank Redemption fan. That's why it's a part of my vocabulary. Topher was playing the church, the pastor or whatever. Like, he was the one that went door to door looking for them. That was Topher. I didn't know him. He was a chameleon. I was like, what? I didn't know. What do you know? I didn't watch Tropic Thunder. I didn't watch it. Tropic